Tell you what, it was really nice having more space in the studio last week. No Harry, no Dick,
Have you got yours?
no Buck or no Witherspoon.
Good.
But I think it's time that we got some of them back out of their boxes, don't you think?
So you're all done.
You're right. It's all very well the two of us doing all the work week after week, having to share credit with a load of talking dolls just because we're claiming wages for them. But I do get fed up with having to pack them away after each show.
Ah, well, let's just keep it in mind that the money that they earn goes straight into our pockets. And that this time next year, we'll be fleet carrier owners.
Okay, I've got them all sitting upright in their chairs. Shall we see if they still work?
Yeah.
Yep, let me just pull the string in the middle of this one's back.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Our mics are live. Where are we? Good evening, everyone. Give me a sec. You can hear Robbie louder than Flossie at the moment. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hutton Orbital News, live from the bubble, and not just from anywhere in the bubble, but the bit that's near Sol. Not too near, just around the corner. We've got the usual selection of misfits, miscreants, and missing people. I am Dick Chafin. And we'll just...
I'm Rudolph Hucker.
Yes, he is.
I'm paying attention. I'm Harry Balzac, and I'm back from my self-isolation.
I'm also paying attention, and I'm seamless.
Nice. I'm Nora Snockers.
And I'm Lou.
And so, let's get on with those headlines.
Nearly new. One careful owner. Knock-off carriers at knock-down prices.
Spider-Mind Shrink Ray brings Ray of Hope.
Educating the smallest people in the galaxy, Hutton style.
Banterbus bounces along.
Sinbad the Bad makes Dunkers sad.
We make a call to Atris 5060.
I swear Lou's rigged the news for the weeks he's here.
And Norma's void will be filled with something tasty.
There are rumours that second-hand knockoff fleet carriers are being passed off as new in a Boer Corporation recycling scam. Insider reports also state that the court case of public opinion versus Brewer Corporation led to the three magistrates concluding that Brewer had to either change their name to Big Ship instead of Fleet Carrier, or actually allow pilots to carry their own fleets. In a options are available move, reminiscent of 20th century Earth car manufacturers BMW, Brewer had refused to sell a carrier with the ability to actually carry. It's a bit like selling everything except the chassis as a car and forcing commanders to pay for optional extras like seats and wheels from an extensive list of colourful items for a cost. The good news is that between all that, and scientists making jump fuel better, as we reported last week, it looks like you can now look forward to having your cake, and indeed, eating it.
In other news, celebrated galactic furniture maker and entertainment provider Spider-Mind Systems have released a sneak preview photographs of some boxes with spaceships in. Two-dimensional spaceships. Due to their new compression techniques, these flat-pack beauties are now occupying a modestly sized storage facility, approximately 50 ships to a space, roughly the size of a pack of Marlies. They are commissioning a fleet of small ships to load these micro-fleets and distribute to systems in the bubble in the near future. No word yet on their latest in furniture design, but investigators are hoping that their little legs will carry them to their destinations soon.
With the advent of cross-species communication entering a new phase to the microscopic level, our glorious leader Alvin has been in touch with the Flathead Society of Snozzy's Bonds. He has been trying to communicate with the life forms that live on Mike's noggin and determined that as a society they don't believe in the curvature of his cranium. Other than a handful who live on the edge and can see across to the forest of Brow and the continent of Hairy Shoulder, the majority live their lives surrounded by a dense keratin forest and are oblivious to the curvature of the dome on which they live. As a solution, Alvin has instituted Project Z and commissioned a swift-moving raising of the surface, clearing all the extraneous clearing all the extraneous keratin and giving the microbes that right, okay. I'm going to start that whole sentence again. It's seamless. As a solution, Alvin has instituted Project Z and commissioned a swift-moving raising of the surface, clearing all the extraneous keratin and giving the microbes that live there an unadulterated view of the horizon. His demands have included the promise that the hair will actually grow back if they get agoraphobic, and of course regular nourishment with autoglim. There are no updates as to whether he has re-established communication with the colony in his own hirsute Maine after that incident with the front line. He's also ordered some Earl Grey tea, a few lollipops, and the Gazer's Guide to the East End of London for his aid to smooth him through the transition, because he's worth it.
The bouncing Baz banter bus goes from strength to strength, with more commanders joined every day for each stop. They've thoroughly probed an ancient crashed Thargoid. They've been at the Brandy over Lave, gone all Boy Scout in a forest of barnacles, and even had a visit from the local wildlife in the form of a curious Thargoid. Whether he was after their jam sandwich, like some kind of demented summer stripy bastard, aka a wasp, or part of the alien ant farm that is Tharg the Mighty Swarm, we can't tell. But he came, he probed, he ran away laughing. The sight of a lawn dart, of an anaconda made for more peaceful evening's entertainment, so their next mission is to visit a lighthouse within the range of a rather dangerous-looking wibbly star with big arms. The light has gone blue, and we're guessing so has the air when they realise the danger that they're in. A far sight from the Time Team special of Dusty Guardian Ruins earlier in the week, where they investigated a series of small wads, looked at a bit of pottery, and pontificated whether the bit over to one side was a middle. With over 10 days left to go, one wonders what the other wonders they will wander to, but one wishes them well on their wanderings.
In the lands of Colonia, where the skies are purple and the nights very light, men of Dubuenel tell tales. Tales of Sinbad the Bad, and the time he came to Dunker's Rest, and the hero Duncan the Crumb saved his village. They tell of the great expedition to bring the mug to other villages in the valley, and of the trials and tribulations of truckers throughout space as they completed their quest. Around the hearth, they talk of the intern, founder of Dubuenel, and the history of the biscuit. From the earliest hand-teased crumb to the final bake and avoiding the soggy bottom and the inevitable burned edges, they speak in hushed tones of the ginger nut, the hobnob, and argue over the pronunciation of the word bourbon or bourbon. Whether a stroopwafel qualifies and how long you can dunk it before it goes all floppy, these are critical things for the residents of Dunker's Rest. But Sinbad the Bad was jealous. He didn't have any biscuits. He watched from a nearby dark and dingy system as the Dunkers revelled in their chocolate-coated digestives and their custard creams and looked forlornly at his stale and weevil-ridden salty ship's biscuit. So, one evening, when their backs were turned, Sinbad the Bad snuck into their village and stole it. The whole thing. He planted a flag. He put up a wall. It was the biggliest wall they'd ever seen, and they couldn't scale it. Sinbad the Bad forgot one thing, though. Packets of biscuits are made to be shared. And the homeless citizens of Dunker's Rest had their biscuits about their person when they were exiled. The sight of the first unbroken biscuit on top of a packet of buttery butter shortbread was enough to bring cannon. The glazed ring brought the team from AXI. A petticoat tail brought the truckers running, and soon eager helpers were on hand to show Sinbad the Bad that being bad wasn't very nice at all. The people of Colonia tell a tale. They tell a tale from the future. A tale where the 38 reclaim their seats. A tale where Sinbad the Bad is sent packing back to his dark and dank valley. They claim this isn't a fairy tale, it's a foretelling. And here at Hutton, we like that kind of prediction.
Good evening, truckers. Atris 5060. Answer machine here. Oh, is this thing on? Sorry, I'm very sorry, but Atris, that's me. Isn't here this evening as I'm busy. Please leave a message after the very lovely beep. Beep! By the way, has anyone seen a Thargoid recently? If you have, please contact Operation Ida, or is that RDA? Or is it Ida? Maybe Hackswing, if anyone can find them. Right, I'm off to a barbecue. Some Thargoid hearts. Tasty. For all the Mug Commanders, beep.
We're doing the new lip read version.
Are we live?
We are. Don't know about you, mate.
Am I live now?
You are.
Excellent. Okay, Hutton Space is basically the same as last week. You know how it works. Nothing's in trouble. Please keep it up. Colonia is the same as always. Here's always an election. Doriso's always an outbreak. There's the odd gap between the two, but that's pretty much constant. Fort Mug's never in trouble, so basically I'm not even going to bother giving an update. On the other hand, in WNL, which is over in Colonia, it's actually interesting. Yes, interesting, as in things are happening. As you may have heard, New Sinbad have ousted the followers of the lovely Ed Lewis, owner of the coveted Mistake of the Year muggy, from their home at Dunker's Rest, the biscuity planetary base giving control of the system. And the truckers, both colonial and bubblicious, are helping them to win it back. We're gaining on the infiltrators and heading for a war to win back the system. So forget about Hutton Space, get over to Colonia, and may you be with the biscuit. Over to Norma.
I'm sorry, I can't read that.
What?
That.
I ever not.
It's rude.
But you've got to read it, it's in the script.
No, I flipping well don't. You've done that deliberately to get me into trouble. I've got a reputation to maintain, you know. You can't have Norma Stoppers cover that kind of thing and get away with it.
Who said anything about getting away with it?
I knew it. Right, come here.
Ow. Come on now, it can't be that bad. Oh, no, you're right.
Shall we move on?
You think you're getting away with it too? Here, have one of these.
No! Ow! And on that rather sore point, we're dying to know what was in Norma's bit, but it looks like we're never going to find out unless you message Flossie directly through any social media, or we can give you her phone number right now. No, I'm only kidding.
Panic.
Yes, but anyway, we have got a special guest with us this week as well, so we're looking forward to introducing you to them and talking to them. But it is time to hand over to Wilma, who's going to tell us about our first tune.
And it's a cracker, an oasis of chaos amongst all of this seamless calm. It's Bonehead Spank Holiday.